You don't have to answer the question as soon as she gets the last word out. If she asks you a question you don't know or you need time to think about it, say, can I have a couple minutes to think about that question, please? They're gonna say yeah, they have no choice. They can't say no, that's weird. I would come to the interview questions not being prepared, and you always wanna be prepared because I had no idea what I was gonna say. So I was literally sitting there like crickets, like didn't know what to say. That's kind of when they started wrapping the interview up like, okay, well, thank you for your time. What's up, YouTube? It's me, Jamie K, and today we are going to be talking about 5 of the top interview questions for nurses. So this isn't specifically for ER nurses or med-surg nurses. This should just be all the way around for every type of nurse. So I'm going to be giving you the best and the worst responses. I will give you some of the responses that I gave during my interviews because mine were not that great. But hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and give some of your best answers. So I hope this video helps. Let's get started. So number 1, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. My name is Jamie. I am 23 years old. I love to travel. I am a very positive person. I love to smile. If I could put a smile on your face, that makes me happy. I've always wanted to be a nurse ever since I was little. Love to eat. I'm a family person, and I'm very excited to be here today. So with this one, I just want to say be honest. Literally tell me about yourself in like 2 to 3 sentences. Don't tell me your whole life story, but just give me your best qualities, what you like to do. Do you have any kids? Are you married? Just a little brief summary of yourself. Don't make this too long. And then I always end with just saying that I'm very excited to be here, just to show my personality a little bit, to show that I'm an excited person, I'm a happy person, I'm a positive person. I feel like that's probably the easiest question that they ask, and I'm glad it's the first one because it kind of gets me comfortable because it's a question that you can't mess up. Like, you know yourself, you know what you like to do, you know all about yourself. So that's the easiest question to me. Number 2, this one is also a kind of an easy question depending on your reason. So why do you want to be a nurse? Everybody has their own reasons. You're the only person that know why you wanted to become a nurse. So obviously this question is kind of easy too. So my answer is always, well, initially I wanted to be a paramedic or EMT, which is true. I was always so fascinated by that job. I feel like it's literally a life-saving job, like getting the patient from A to B and just keeping them alive from A to B. And I just thought that was so fascinating. However, I switched to nursing because I felt like I would have more opportunities with nursing and I could do a lot more with nursing in the future. So I'll give that initial reason, but then I'll tell like a story about when I first realized I want to be an ER nurse. So there's a difference between why did you want to be a nurse and why did you choose to be an ER nurse or an OB nurse or a med-surg nurse. Like it depends on what kind of nurse you want to be. But for me, I realized that I wanted to be an ER nurse when I was at home, and I was at home with all my siblings. I have lots of siblings. And my little brother was taking out the trash. He cut his wrist on glass in the trash. He was bleeding out on the floor. And then my little sister came in. She thought that she was spraying perfume, and she was actually spraying pepper spray. So she was coughing, spitting, and breathing in pepper spray, and my little brother was bleeding out on the floor. And those 2 things were going on at the same time. Like, obviously, that's kind of traumatic to see. But after I bandaged the wrist, and I called poison control for my sister, and followed all the instructions they told me with her, and afterwards I realized I'm calm in chaotic situations. I might want to be an ER nurse on top of wanted to be a paramedic. That's always been an interest of mine. But that's when I realized, like, yes, I do want to do ER nursing. So always like give a little story if you have a little backstory. That always helps to give them an idea of how passionate you are or how passionate you will be as a nurse. Okay, number 3, where do you see yourself in 2 to 5 years, 10 years? It depends. So my question was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I messed up on this question big time because it was my very first interview. And they asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said I was gonna be traveling. I said I want to be a travel nurse. I want to be in Florida. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to travel the world and nurse. Obviously, to me, that was a great answer because I was being honest. I was telling the truth. You want to be honest. You want to tell the truth. But I was a little too honest in the interview. I did not know that they didn't want to hear that. So after my interview, I was like, yeah, I told them that. I called my friend and I was like, yeah, I told them I want to do travel nursing. And she was like, Jamie, you can't say that. They don't want to hear that. So, I mean, even if that's your truth, I told the truth. I thought I was doing the right thing. They don't want you to just take their resources and then just leave them high and dry, especially nowadays when everybody's so short-staffed and it's so hard to keep staff nurses. Everybody wants to go travel because of the money. They were not trying to hear that. And like during the interview, I was like, that's kind of when they started wrapping the interview up like, okay, well, thank you for your time. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I didn't know that they didn't want to hear that. So don't say that, unless you just want to be completely honest like I was. Say something like, I look forward to being in somewhere in leadership, going to the next level. So maybe like a charge nurse or a preceptor. I think precepting for me would be great because I love to help people. So I would probably have said preceptor. So precepting, charging, anything in leadership is a great answer for that question. So number 4, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? This is also an easy question because you know yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses better than anybody else. But just make sure that you're honest here. Everybody has weaknesses, so don't be afraid to list your weaknesses. So my strengths, I would say, I wrote them down. I'm a positive person. I'm very eager to learn. And I'm very compassionate. All those are true. I'm very compassionate. I love to help people. I'm very eager to learn. I love to ask, do you need anything? Do you need anything? And I am very positive. I love to smile. So those are my 3 strengths. And then my weaknesses are, my weakness that I said in all my interview questions was my confidence and my overthinking. So I do have, I'm working on my confidence and then and my overthinking. So I would say confidence and overthinking are my weaknesses, and I always say those at all my interviews. Just make sure that at the end of your weaknesses you say, but I am working on that, and I'm going to strive to do better with that. So for me, I would say, yes, I'm working on my confidence, but I feel like working here will help me build my confidence, and I feel like working here will help me be able to work on my overthinking and not overthinking as much. So just make sure that you show them that you are willing to work on your weaknesses, and make sure you highlight your strengths. I'm positive, I'm happy, I'm eager to learn. So here are some examples. I typed in some examples for you guys. So examples of strengths will be compassion, confidence, leader, team player, and patience. And then examples of weaknesses would be communication, poor communication, emotions, dealing with death, or being impatient. So just make sure that you end off with saying, but I'm working on being impatient, and I'm working on knowing what to say when family members are dealing with death, and you'll learn that on the job. So that's that. Number 5, how do you want to work here? This is a question that always kind of threw me off, and this is the only question where I actually said, can I have a moment to think about this? Because I would come to the interview questions not being prepared, and you always want to be prepared because I had no idea what I was going to say. So I was literally sitting there like crickets, like didn't know what to say. So always do your research before you go into a specific hospital or a specific facility, because they want to know that you put in effort and you learned a little bit about the facility before you just walked in there. So like, not a full in-depth research paper, but just knowing like their core values and what they stand for, and they're just a little bit about their background and what they're known for. So if they're a Christian-based facility, you can say something like, I love the fact that you guys are Christian-based. Or you can bring up their core values. I love the fact that you have teamwork embedded in your core values. I feel like this is somewhere where I can build my teamwork and my sportsmanship and my collaboration. You can say something like, I love the collaborative environment, or I was born here as a child and I just want to continue that. Just knowing a little bit about the background of the facility or the hospital can help you answer that question. Make sure you do that, because I literally had no idea. I forgot what I said. I don't know, but I was not prepared for that question. So do your research on the hospital. Those are my top 5. I hope that those were helpful. I also wrote down a couple more tips for you guys. So make sure that you actually prepare for your questions. Me, I never prepared. I never looked up on Google like interview questions. I just always walked in and winged it. That sounds terrible, but that's the truth. But now that I made the mistakes and I've done it for myself, I can now tell you what to do and what not to do. So prepare for your interviews, you guys. The fact that you're watching this video means that you're preparing for your interview. So that's good. That's great. So also I wrote, sit in the mirror and answer these questions like you're actually in the interview. Sit there and ask the question and answer the question as if you were in the actual interview. That'll help you be confident when you finally get the question. I guarantee you, you will have at least 1 or 2 of these questions. Always be confident in your answers, even if you aren't sure, or even if you mess up, or even if you need time to think about it. When you answer, be confident in the answer. If you need time, say you need time. You don't have to answer the question as soon as she gets the last word out. If she asks you a question you don't know, or you need time to think about it, say, can I have a couple minutes to think about that question, please? They're gonna say yeah, they have no choice. They can't say no, that's weird. So yeah, sure, you sit there, you think about it, and you come up with a really good answer. Even if you're having trouble thinking of an answer, say, I'm having trouble thinking of that answer, and just say whatever comes to your mind. It's okay. Don't overthink it, like me. Just make sure that throughout the whole interview, you are expressing your passion for nursing. Make sure that you're prioritizing patient safety. If you get a question about, tell me about a stressful situation you've been, or tell me how you overcame a certain obstacle, or tell me how you deal with teamwork, or tell me how you deal with stress, like anything like that, just make sure that you are being confident in your answer, you're prioritizing patient safety, and you're showing them that you are passionate about nursing, or you will be passionate about nursing, and you are eager to learn, you are eager to help the patients get better, and you are eager to help further your career in nursing. Just always have a positive attitude. You'll get the job. All of you guys that are watching this video, especially if you made it this far in this video, you are going to get the job. So don't be afraid. Make sure you say your prayers before you go in, and you got it. That's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to make a short video because I felt like this is something that I should have did before my interviews. I would have been way more prepared. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really hope that it helps. If you guys have any other recommendations about what you would like for me to discuss for you guys, please leave them in the comments below about any videos or anything you want me to talk about. Leave any questions or comments or concerns in the comments below. I will answer them for you. I hope everybody does really good on their interviews. You all will do great. I would love to hear about it. You can leave in the comments below about how your interview went or when your interview is, so I can give you some encouragement. But thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Toodaloo.